In this video I'm going to give you the top 5 deer hunting myths and how you can avoid these mistakes for this season and for seasons to come. So I've been really waiting to get this video out, and it's a really good video, and it's helped me a lot just remembering these things and practicing these things, and I try to do as much of these as I can to avoid mistakes during deer season, so that way it gives you a higher opportunity to kill that mature buck you're after, or that big buck that you're after. So I'm going to go from the bottom to the top as probably the least important to the most important myths, and how you can avoid those mistakes, and that way you'll have a better hunt overall in this year's hunt and for seasons to come. And so we'll start with number 5, which is access, which is, for the myth, it's probably I know a lot of people that just go, if it's a good spot, they just slap up a stand. They don't care how they get into the stand, just that they're hunting that stand. And that's really bad to do. You got to put into play where you're shooting at, lanes are at. Say you're in a food plot, you need to make sure you're not accessing through that food plot. You need to make sure you've got your wind going the right way, so that way you don't spook off a mature buck. And so that way you can have a great hunt with your access and being quiet and stealthily, like a predator, which is a good term for it. So number 5 is access, which is very crucial. And number 4 is summer bucks. And a summer buck herd, a summer deer herd, will not come during the fall. They transition. I've done a video about it. It's called the annual whitetail shift. They transition from their summer food, summer habitat, to their fall and winter habitat, because the temperatures change. And so they need more cover, and they need adequate cover and adequate food, so that way, because a summer herd or a summer property, that will all die during the fall and winter months, which is why we have food plots out here and bedding for them during the fall and during the winter. So that's a very important one. Summer bucks will not come if you've got a summer buck property. And if you have pictures of summer bucks, then you're probably not going to have pictures of them during the fall. I've had a couple pictures of summer bucks, which is not bad. Every month at a time, having summer bucks is not a bad thing. Having bucks on your land during the summer is not a bad thing, just not all the time. And even if you can't get the deer off my land, or off your land, I've got the opportunity, a great opportunity, because I can go out there with the 4-wheeler. I'm out there about every week, which spooks them off, and they won't come during the summer months. But obviously when hunting season comes out, I'm getting off the ATV and they're coming in. So that's another thing to be aware about. So number 3, you can't kill them from the couch. And that is a popular saying, and it's true. You cannot kill a deer from a couch, but you can strategize, and you can pick the good weather days. Say you have one day off of work and you have the weekend. The weekend's bad and it's really warm, and you have the potential of spooking deer, then I'm not going to hunt that. Weekend. But if I have Thursday, Tuesday off, and there's a cold front coming in, I'm going to hunt that, because there's a good opportunity that I'm going to see a buck. And you can't kill them from the couch also plays into, I know a lot of people who get out in the deer stand every chance they get, and they get out there, they take weeks off, and they hunt non-stop. And if you're just out to kill a doe, then that's fine. But if you want a mature buck to come by, and you want to be able to shoot a mature buck, you're not going to be able to kill him, because you're pressuring that deer herd way too much. And so that's a really important one too. Wind. And so for the number 2 is wind versus calm hunts. And so calm hunts, it's where everything's just peaceful, the wind's barely even there. It's still a great time to get a buck, but the wind offers a great opportunity. I know, I read an article of a guy who went out in 20-mile-per-hour winds and shot an 8-point buck, and that is also a really good time to get into your stand, almost better than having a calm hunt, because the wind can also block your entrance. Like say you're on crunchy leaves and the wind's really strong, then you can get into your stand without the deer, without you spooking the deer and without the deer hearing you. And with the wind also, deer try to avoid predators as much as possible. And so if they're being quiet during the calm, the predators can hear them break a stick, the leaves crunching, just like they can hear us. But if it's windy, the predators can't hear them, and they'll come out early during the windy days. But if it's too windy, then they won't come out. So you got to get that balance between not too windy and too windy. That can make a great opportunity to kill a buck. And for number one, it's very important, and ATVs don't spook deer. And I know a lot of people who use ATVs to access their stands. They drive around, and they are very bad during the hunting season. They do spook deer off. And I've driven the ATV in previous years, not applying these practices and tactics. But I have driven the ATV, and I haven't seen deer for 2 months. And about the doe herd's different, because does come back about a week, I've learned from trail cameras, 5 days to a week and 2 days. Mature bucks, one mature buck came back a week and a half later, but most of my mature bucks came back 2 to 2.5 weeks later. So that's very important to think about. If you're driving your ATV to your stand, you're driving around before you even hunt, then you're going to spook deer. Maybe not so much does. Does can take a lot more pressure than bucks can, and even does give pressure to bucks, which is why you don't want too many does. And I'll do another thing about that, which I didn't have that as a point. But does, if you have a big doe herd, and that is bad, and you will not have bucks on your land. I know I've hunted a place where there's a huge doe herd, and the rut is great there. And hunting, and just like can't kill them from the couch, hunting the rut as much as you can is crucial, and you should hunt the rut as much as you can. But early season and late season is a lot different. And if you have a huge amount of does, then they give pressure to the bucks, and they're taking up all the space, the food, then the bucks will not want to be there, and they're going to find a different place where the does aren't. Which is just another point, but I didn't have that up here. But ATVs overall spook deer, so make sure you're not driving ATVs during hunting season. And it's not bad during summer, or during the summer. I know I've stopped driving the four-wheeler during the summer just because I want to get a particular buck on camera. But other than that, in the summer I'm out there all the time with the four-wheeler, and they still come back every year during hunting season. I usually give about a 2-week gap into hunting season, so hunting season for here, bow season, starts October 1st, so I'm not going to be driving the ATV or going down there by the middle of September. Middle of September is the cutoff time. I have to have everything done by the middle of September, which is really hard to crunch all the habitat improvements and stuff like that in that time. And September's a really important time, putting up blinds, even seeding food plots and stuff like that. So it's very hard, but in the end it will really help you. So I hope these help you, and that you can avoid making these mistakes, which I've learned from and a lot of other people have learned from too. So hopefully you have a great hunt.